On the UFC Spanish broadcast, a graphic has made a lot of people think that the next fight of Ilia Topuria has been confirmed. The translation into English says Ilia Topuria moves up a weight class and faces Charles Oliveira. The Spaniard will make his lightweight debut. A lot of people want to see Topuria fight Makhachev for the belt, but Makhachev may wait to see what happens next month in the title fight between Bilal and Jack Della Maddalena and then decide what to do next. This is a very interesting fight apparently happening May 17th. Movsar Evloev taking on Aaron Pico, making his UFC debut coming over from Bellator. So Aaron Pico apparently taking on Movsar Evloev in the main event, May 17th fight night card at the UFC Apex. That'd be a huge opportunity for Aaron Pico, taking on the number 4 ranked featherweight in his first UFC fight. Dana White said that the matchmakers love Aaron Pico, and apparently they do, giving him a huge opportunity like that. And maybe they don't like Movsar Evloev because he doesn't really have much to gain with this matchup. But Pico has everything to gain. Huge opportunity because you take out Topuria from the division because he's gone, and you take out Holloway because he's gone. Then basically Movsar is ranked number 2 in the division, so Pico has a chance to beat the number 2 guy in his UFC debut, and he'd be right up there close to a title shot if he got a big victory. The new champion of the division will be crowned next week. Volk and Lopez headline the card. Chandler Pinblitz, co-main event. Mitchell Silva, Yair Rodriguez, Pitbull. Another Bellator guy moving over to the UFC. Pitbull taking on Yair in the featherweight division. And then Krilla versus Reyes kicks off the card. Miami, Florida, April 12th.
Еще. Вот. Держать. Еще. Чуть не сломались.
Deani Barboza gets a performance bonus for tapping out Deani Belbita. Deani Barboza gets a performance bonus for tapping out Diana Belbita. That was an outcome that many people expected, but nonetheless, good win and 50K bonus. Reese McKee as an underdog beats Daniel Frunza. A lot of these guys in their UFC debuts coming off the Contender Series get a rude awakening, and that happened in this fight with Frunza, who got dropped 3 times. Credit to Frunza, tough guy, dropped 3 times. Kept fighting, busted lip, swollen eye, kept fighting. Doctor had to stop it due to the lip damage, but Reese McKee gets his first win in the UFC on a bonus. Again, with the theme, guys coming out the Contender Series making their UFC debuts and getting a rude awakening. Happening to Luis Garula getting knocked out by Ode Osborne in round 2. Garula did good in round 1, getting the takedown and winning that round, but he couldn't get the takedown in round 2. Credit to Ode for knocking him out with the left hand. And Chang Ho Lee won a performance bonus for getting a second-round TKO over Cortavius Aromius. His ground and pound is lethal. 6 of his last 8 victories are by TKO. He takes you down. He's looking to mount you and ground and pound you out. If you turn his back, he's not looking for the rear naked choke. He wants to knock you out with punches. Lerone Murphy is the Leon Edwards of featherweight, and I hate it. I'm glad the whole crowd booed Lerone, the runner. He lost that fight, and all of us fans lost having to watch that bullshit. Real MMA fans will appreciate the technicality of the fight. That's fight IQ. Punishing elbows and close body kicks. Neat footwork. Had him hurt a few times. Why would I stay in the pocket with a power puncher, float like a butterfly, and sting like a bee?
I want to ask, what's your prediction for next weekend's main event between Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez?
I think it's a great fight. I think they're both top fighters, both exciting fighters. 2 very high-level competitors, but I think maybe I can see Volk winning late rounds with the cardio and the experience, but who knows? Diego's young and hungry, and he's been on a tear lately.
I'll have to consult with Atlanta, Georgia. Legends are made, but every swinging kick history has made.
3 weeks from tonight, we return with our next UFC Fight Night from Kansas City, Missouri. Top flight welterweights square off as Ian Machado Gary battles white-hot Brazilian Carlos Prates plus Zhang Mingyang takes on Anthony Smith in the final fight of his illustrious career. The main card, yours, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN+.
Brandon Royval says, my concussion was so severe that originally I wasn't formulating sentences well. Eric Anders says, that's just the CTE setting in. He will get used to it. A bit of a wild statement from a fighter. Unexpected, but that's Eric Anders' take on that thing. And Eric Anders beat Chris Weidman in his last fight in December. Brandon Royval is likely taking on Manal Kopp June 28th, UFC 317. Australian MMA coach Renato Subotic was supposed to be doing a seminar in America, but ended up in federal prison. Got stopped at the border. Immigration pulled me aside and took me to an isolated room. The officer interviewing me looked at me like he was looking for something wrong. It was obvious why I was in the U.S. I gave them every specific detail about my seminar, my plans, everything. They kept me in that room for 3 hours asking endless questions. I was cooperative. They told me there was a mistake in my visa and they would take me to jail until they figure out what's next. Just like that. No clear explanation. No chance to talk to anyone. No rights. Handcuffed me, put me in a car and drove me to federal prison. They stripped me of everything, took my clothes, gave me jail clothes, fingerprinted me, took photos, searched me, gave me a blanket and sheet, then walked me to my block 4B. The moment the door opened, there was chaos. Fights between gangs, people screaming, arguing over food, what to watch on TV, crazy people running around, madness. The guard walked me to cell 221, where there was a filthy mattress with patches of piss and blood. Guard told me to hurry up so I can get food, dropped my stuff, went downstairs. I was in line. 4 guys started beating the hell out of another guy, smashing his head into the fence. I wasn't even hungry. I grabbed an apple, ate it, walked straight back to my cell. Then I got back. 2 Mexican guys were there stealing my blanket and sheet. I said, hey bro, what are you doing? One of them replied, get in my stuff. I said, that's my stuff. And he looked at me and said, what are you going to do about it? We had a fight. I got my stuff back. The other one ran out of the cell screaming. The people in nearby cells came to see what was going on. Stepped out of my cell and I met a few Romanian guys next door. They warned me, be careful. Those guys are part of a gang. They're going to come for you later. I noticed the phone's downstairs, so I asked some of the inmates, how can I call my family to tell them what's going on? They told me, you can't. You have to wait 3 days to get your number. Went back to my cell exhausted, but when I walked in, I saw my cellmate and realized he was one of the 2 guys who tried to steal my blanket earlier. I tensed up, getting ready to fight again, but he backed off quickly, breaking eye contact. No, brother, I don't want problems. He moved his stuff to the top bunk and said, let's keep it cool. He wasn't physically threatening, but mentally unstable, creepy. Something felt off. The Romanians warned me again, be careful. That guy's in for murder. Later, the gang leader came to me again. I talked to a few people. They're letting you out tomorrow. Don't do anything stupid. You'll be fine. I didn't trust my cellmate. Didn't sleep a second. At 6 a.m., they opened the door. A guard shouted, get ready. You're leaving in a few hours. Lined up for breakfast. Tried to eat some disgusting oats with milk. Could barely swallow it. The Mexican guy I'd beat up was still staring at me. He wanted revenge, but he was out of time. They gave me back my clothes. The others were given clean clothes for court. They handcuffed me again and drove me to the airport. At the airport, they kept me in a room without telling me when I'd fly. Eventually, I got the info I was being deported. An officer walked me to the plane. Before taking out the handcuffs, he looked at me and said, I'm sorry this happened to you. They messed up big. It shouldn't have gone this way. This whole experience was unreal. It's insane how easily someone can take away your freedom, lock you in a federal prison without clear reason. No explanation, no warning, just like that, you're treated like the worst criminal. I believe in respecting the rules, but putting someone in federal prison over a missing detail in a visa application? I apologize to everyone who attended my seminar. It was sold out. I was excited to meet you and share my love of the sport with you all. That's crazy. Now I'm back in Australia. I'll speak with my lawyer. Something has to be done about the way I was treating. Hope this never happens to nobody else.